But yes. The fucking click moment's up.
Should we go for it?
Is that the old one? I think. Mate, how do you see if we're live?
Oh, let's just.
It's a fuck up. We ready?
Yep, let's do it.
Let's go for it. Welcome back to What You'll Learn. My name is Adam Ashton.
G'day. My name is Adam Jones. Today we are reviewing The Click Moment, Seizing Opportunity in an Unpredictable World by Frans Johansson.
2 S's there. Nice pronunciation.
Yeah.
Mate, I thought this was a really bloody good book, actually. It was a lot of stories, obviously very, very well researched, very thorough, a lot of examples, a lot of stories. Must have been bloody tough to write. But then like the second half was very applicable, very actionable. I liked it. Very actionable, and a lot of this stuff, I think we said before, a lot of the best books, I think, are things that are common sense, but once you read it, it's like you've always known it, but you need a book to bring the ideas to your mind, and a lot of those kind of ideas are in this book. And the idea of which we're going to get into, Purposeful Bets, was fucking nice. Sick, basically. Mate, there was someone the other day was saying, "Oh, you guys always say the first half's better than the second. Do you even read it all?" Or, but this is what I'm going to say: the second half's better than the first.
Yep.
But yeah, so it's sort of like the first half is setting up, just almost highlighting that the world is random, and then the second half shows how can you capitalise on that randomness. Yeah.
Yep, definitely. So yeah, I was definitely sold on the idea at the very start that success is random. So
I don't like to admit it. I'd like to say success is.
We definitely don't. Like, I think it's something also in Daniel Kahneman.
Yeah.
Thinking Fast and Slow. That we like to think that we give meaning to everything rather than just think it's just unpredictable.
Yeah.
So.
But we can capitalise on the unpredictability. Let's get into it. Part 1, An Unpredictable World. And he talks about, so as you said, he gives a lot of examples, a lot of stories. He talks about Numa Numa, that song, Dragos Ta Dinte.
I don't know it. How's it going?
You don't know it?
I'll know it when I hear it. Come on, mate.
Mate, we'll play it afterwards. But basically saying, like, it smashed it in Europe, and it was, like, number 1, and they did like 6 different versions in different languages, and in like the French top 10, all 6 were in the top 10 at one point, but it just never made it in the US.
Yeah, so they spent a lot of money on marketing and everything like that, and like to the letter of the law, to the book, they did everything they could to get into the US, they thought. Correct? And then
they just never cracked it until
what happened?
Until there was this like, just like this guy, like this crazy sort of pretty fat guy with a beard, just like filmed himself on a video singing the song, really animated, really over the top, lip syncing to it, and that just went viral, and then the song from there caught on. Yeah,
and then all of a sudden it was number 1 in the US after 6 weeks. So it goes through a lot of stories like this. So, for example, the man who let Desperate Housewives and Lost through on the TV network, he was out of a job before they even started. So all the CEOs and the people who supposedly knew everything. So the CEO of Disney said, this is never going to work. So they fired him, and then obviously they were the TV hit series of that year.
Yeah, and basically it said, like, was it on the ABC or whichever channel Lost was on was basically dead. Yeah. And then Lost came on and it was like the biggest show of the decade and just smashed it and saved them basically. Yeah.
Another one, Bill Browerman from Nike. He always was grappling with the spikeless sports shoe, but one day he saw someone, I think, his mum grabbed some chocolate waffles or something from the waffle machine, and then he had this idea pop in his head, and then he put latex into the waffle machine, and then he came up with a Nike shoe.
Yeah, the base of the shoe there.
Another just quick one, Barack Obama. Prior to 2004, he had little or no chance of winning the presidency. His keynote speech in 2004 Senate just announced that Barack Obama was on the scene, and then this spread virally to millions. Then all of a sudden, everyone was like, who the fuck is this dude? And then he all of a sudden became the president of the US.
Yeah, nice. So there's heaps of these stories, really interesting to read, really tough. I don't know how the hell he weaved them all together, but it works.
Yeah.
He talks about Serena Williams then. She won the US Open when she was 17 years old. When she was 3 years old, she was practicing tennis 2 hours a day, every day. Because her dad was just like, Serena and Venus, you guys are going to be tennis champions. And the reason that worked, which is where the outliers or the 10,000 hour rule, all of those types of things come together, is if you like focus on something with fixed rules, basically the same. So tennis, there's the same rules. Tennis is always the same. It's a very limited amount of things that you can do within tennis, like hit the ball back over. So you can master something like that.
Yeah, definitely. So that was really refreshing to hear that you don't need... so there are some things that the 10,000 hour rule by Malcolm Gladwell applies to, like violin and chess.
Not by Malcolm Gladwell, but popularised by Malcolm Gladwell.
Popularised by Malcolm Gladwell, correct. But what she says is things like... there's a lot of things that go against the rule, like Richard Branson starting Virgin, or Reed Hastings, the founder of Netflix. They didn't have pretty much any experience.
It just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, so she says that the rules of business and things like that are always changing, so the 10,000 hour rule doesn't necessarily apply to things like business. But if you're going for violin or languages, if you're not Tim Ferriss, then go for 10,000 hours practice.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas there's random things, as you say, mate, it's refreshing to know that you don't need that 10,000 hours.
Yeah, you can. This is where the whole book comes in. For the things that don't take 10,000 hours, that takes a lot of unpredictability and uncertainty and chance. How you can take hold of that in a good way to have the best opportunity at success.
Yeah, phenomenal. And so that was one type. So like tennis or maybe chess or something where the rules are always the same, where you need those 10,000 hours. But something that's where the rules are completely different or the rules can be changed, can be up for anything. So basically they said Nokia was the number one. It was the number one phone seller, weren't they?
Yes, that's right. So in 2007, the way Frans says it is Nokia was the Serena Williams of mobile phones. They had a market capital of $162 billion. So everyone in the world at that time was thinking they are the absolute bomb. Everyone who knew everything thought Nokia is, going to rule the world basically. But what it managed to do in the next few years is drop 90% when iPhones came on the market.
Yeah. Basically, they're like, what the hell is this iPhone? It wasn't what people expected a phone to be.
Yep.
They changed the rules and dominated, and Nokia was cooked.
That's right. So they said one of the leading authorities on it, so a CEO of a leading tech site said, Apple is about to come out with a new phone and it will largely fail. Again, it's those people who... It just shows the unpredictability of Apple succeeding at the time.
Even these experts who just didn't get it.
Yeah.
There's another cool story about Google, and that Larry Page and Sergey Brin, when they were setting it up, they didn't realize it was going to be big, so they wanted to sell it. And I think they were willing to sell it for $1 million at the time, and that was in 1998. Yahoo offered them $750K. They thought about taking it. In the end, so from 1998, they wanted to sell it for $1 million. By 2002, after Yahoo, who was the leading search engine, passed on it, it was up to $3 billion in 2002. Yahoo offered $3 billion.
Yeah.
And then 2 years later, because people at Yahoo were like, $3 billion, that's way too much, don't do it. 2 years later, it was $150 billion.
Yeah.
and from now, it just keeps going up.
Yeah.
So even the Yahoo, who was the number one search engine in the world, undervalued Google.
Yeah.
For that $3 billion and went up to $150 billion in 2 years.
Yeah, fucking love it, man. We're quickly flipping through the start. The next chapter was the Twilight of Logic. So this is about how Twilight got started. So the chick, Stephanie Meyer, woke up from an incredibly vivid dream, and then she just thought, I'm going to start writing about this dream, and then she went on a rampage. She ended up with a 498-page story, and she was going to throw it in the bin and not do anything with it, but then her sister picked it up and urged her, just send it to a publisher, see what happens, and they took the chance, did that. Then all of a sudden Twilight was released, and she's on top of the world, one of the highest selling booksellers of all time. And
basically that's highlighting the fact that the less rules there are, the less experience is required. So Stephanie, she wasn't a writer by any means. She was she just, as you said, had a dream and woke up and just started writing it out.
Yeah. And
because something like fiction, something like this fantasy stuff, there's no rules.
Yeah.
So because there's no rules, you don't need as much experience.
Yep. Love it. And then chapter 5, which we'll get into now, is the conspiracy of randomness, which we kind of mentioned at the start. But we want to think things happen for a reason, and we should be able to understand those reasons. And we think it's unfair to attribute something to luck when someone gets successful. To actually say, luck had a big part in it. And she goes on here a bit about the...
Mate, are you talking about the author? She.
Oh, yeah. Mate, is Frans...
It's a bloke.
Yeah, I know, but in Melbourne... I don't know. For a Western Melbourne Australian name, it sounds like a dude.
Frans. Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway, we've got Frans coming on, so hopefully Frans didn't listen to that part. But anyway, what he talks about is the World Rock Paper Scissors Society.
Yeah.
And the World Rock Paper Scissors Society fucking writes books about the rock strategy opening and the Spanish Armada double set. And they're just playing fucking rock, paper, scissors. But they're coming up with all these ideas to get successful in it. They smoke crack all them.
Basically, what they're saying is that the rock, paper, scissors paradox is that, you want to think that there's a strategy and there's a way to win, but the best way to win is to be random.
Yep.
Just randomly throw it out. You think, the most common one you put out is rock. So then if they know that the most common one to put out is rock, then they're going to go paper. But then they think if you know that they know, then actually maybe you should go scissors. And so they're trying to come up with all these strategies. As you said, there's all these different strategies. But at the end of the day, the best strategy is to be random.
Yeah.
And I guess why we want to make sense of the world, like you said, thinking fast and slow. We want to give a story to it. But we also want to believe that there is like a defined path. We want to know this is the path. These are the steps you take to emulate someone else's success, and we want to follow it. But at the end of the day, maybe there's not that defined path, unfortunately.
Bang on, mate. Go part 2 of the book now.
Yep. I haven't got anything for chapter 6, but feel free to hit it.
Yeah, I don't know much. I was just trying to scroll through the book to see. But anyway.
No, nice. So part 2 is...
seizing opportunity.
Cool. So there's 3 things that you can do to seize opportunity, and they are click moments, purposeful bets, and complex forces.
Yep.
So what are click moments?
So click moments are... I think the best way of describing this is maybe through the story they say of Microsoft, which I think we briefly mentioned in another podcast, but worth mentioning again. So a few people met at a party through all these complex forces and a by chance encounter, and then they started... they had the right technical skills colliding, and somewhere in the middle they thought of the idea of Windows 3 coming together. So at the time, Windows and Microsoft, they were starting to do pretty average. Yeah.
And they wanted to have this Windows 3 where all the things that we know today, like Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, they're already all there built in. Yeah. And you don't have to worry about buying all these different things. And they actually want to partner with IBM, was it?
Correct. Yep.
They want to partner with someone else. But then these 2 dudes were like, nah, we can do this.
Yeah.
Didn't they just do it themselves on a weekend?
So on a weekend, they left the party straight away and they went home and started developing it. And this kind of ties in, which we're going to unpack a bit more, is the idea of purposeful bets. So what Microsoft did with this is they've got 8,000 employees. They let these 3 people go off. And then this was a little bet by Microsoft where they're taking a chance. And these 3 people ended up doing a lot of work on it, developing it. And then they're the ones who actually
basically saved
Microsoft.
Yeah, that's sick.
So click moments are those things that just, I guess, pop in your idea, and say after a big bout of success, you're looking back and you realise that's where it all started. Just those moments where things click together and you went with it. Yeah,
nice. And just to throw back to Rework, which wasn't one of your favourite books, but they took that, they had that inspiration and they went and did it straight away. They didn't say, it was a Friday night party. They didn't say, let's start Monday. They're like, no, let's do it this weekend.
Yep. So click moments elicit an emotional response, such as awe, excitement, or happiness. So you got an irrationally strong desire to take the idea to the next level. And he says, act on click moments straight away. When you got them, do something with them, because, as you said, inspiration is perishable.
And we've been saying that we don't believe these, or not don't believe, but didn't expect these click moments to exist before reading this book. But then most people experience this serendipity in their romantic life. Whereas, we love at first sight, or I just ran into this chick at a bar or whatever. So we need to put ourselves out there more and more to have more chance of having these serendipitous click moments in our romantic life. But we don't really think that then translates to other areas of life, which this book is saying that it does. So.
Yeah, spot on. So that goes into how to create click moments, which is chapter 8.
Yep.
So what he recommends is to take your eye off the ball every now and then and connect with all the possibilities around you. Explore things not connected to your immediate goals.
Yeah.
And so you start relating with all the other complex forces around you.
Yeah, definitely. And the best example of this he uses is Howard Schultz, who's credited as, I guess, the head of Starbucks.
Yeah.
And so Starbucks was initially just in Seattle, I believe, just a shop that sold ground coffee and equipment that you can make coffee at home. It wasn't the Starbucks we knew today where it's an actual, you go in and buy a cup of coffee. And so Howard Schultz went to Milan in Italy to go to an expo that was about home brewing, like home coffee equipment.
Yeah.
And as he was walking around the streets, he sees all these people walking into espresso bars, coffee places, buying a cup of coffee, having a chat with the barista and walking out, which was just a completely foreign concept. In America, it didn't happen.
Yeah, that's right.
And so even though his ultimate goal was to go there to research home coffee equipment, he found this espresso bar concept and brought it back to America and absolutely fucking dominated.
Yeah, that's right. And I think Tony Robbins actually mentioned this. You're not going to get anywhere if you value certainty so high. So he says you have to value uncertainty to let these other ideas and things flow through your life. And I think this ties in really nicely to that idea.
Yeah. So that was part one, was take your eyes off the ball. The next thing you should do to create click moments is using intersectional thinking. So merging two different concepts together or find that intersection between two different ideas.
That's huge. So if you're, say, a consultant for anything at home, you might be a lawyer or something, learning skills like maybe how to use a product like Camtasia or develop an online course. If you do intersect those skills, you might have an online course in law or something like that, and then all of a sudden you've got a whole new product line or something.
And the example he uses here is a Muslim woman, I think she was from Australia, called Ahida Zanetti, who, Australia, obviously big beach culture, but in the Muslim culture, you have to wear the full body coverage. I forget what it's called here.
Yep.
But so then she merged those two ideas of very extremely low coverage of the beach with extremely high coverage of the Muslim culture and made the burkini.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Then number 3, which is follow your curiosity.
Yes. Sorry, mate. Let me keep going.
So yeah, like the Muslim chick on the beach, she probably thought, hey,
how come I can't go to the beach
yeah.
too?
And I think then she develops the same thing for netballers and things like that. So for a special netball dress for Muslim netballers to wear.
Yep. And number 4, reject the predictable path.
Yep.
And yeah, pretty much you're not going to find anything click moment worthy on the predictable path.
Yeah, if your whole week you know exactly what's coming and you're not getting outside your comfort zone at all, and you're just going to go through the motions, and then time is just going to pass, and then maybe you're going to go through years when really nothing happens, and yeah.
Yeah, pretty much if there was a click moment on the predictable path, it's already been found.
Yeah, correct.
You're not going to find it.
Yep.
Cool. So that was click moments. The next part is purposeful bets.
Yeah, both of our favourite chapters, yeah.
Definitely. So it's just saying that the click moment, it has to be followed by action. If you see the click moment and realise there's potential here, you've got to do something about it.
Yeah, so if you've got a click moment, say you've got a mortgage on a house, a purposeful bet would not be to sell your whole mortgage and invest all your time and quit your job and all your money and dump your wife and fucking get rid of your kids. It'll be to have... He's got this idea of this minimum bet. So you're going to invest a minimal amount of time, money, reputation, and energy to actually test the idea of this bet. And then if it's good, then you move on with it and then you invest more into it.
And he says that more isn't necessarily better. And again, he gives a bunch of things, but it's saying like if you had $500 million to start a company, you're going to behave differently. Whereas if you had $1 million to start this product, because you're going to waste a lot of those resources. So more is definitely not necessarily better. As you said, you need to invest that amount of time, money, effort, energy, reputation, but don't throw it all on the line in one hit.
Yeah. Because
success is random. If the first one doesn't work, you're fucked. Whereas if you do a small amount and it doesn't work, you're still ready to go for the next one. That's
right. So what Frans recommends is place a lot of these little minimum bet sizes in a lot of different areas, and when things take off, take hold of that and then focus your energy onto that.
Yeah.
So the opposite of that, as you were saying, is you try really hard at this one thing and then and then you keep And then you keep just trying at that, not trying anything else, and then you really get nowhere.
Yeah, exactly.
So we've got something in mind there, I think.
Mate, I like the concept of risk homeostasis.
Yeah.
And that you talked about parachuters, in that I think it was in the 90s, parachutes became way safer, but the amount of people that died stayed the same. Less people were dying from failure of the equipment, but more people were taking more risks and doing more risky maneuvers and were dying that way. Yep. And the same as, say, mass condom distribution through Africa to try and stop AIDS or HIV. People then have more risky sex, and that actually meant the same amount of HIV and AIDS was fucking passed on. What was the word I was thinking?
No, just fucking...
I forget the word.
Yeah. So just with that, calculate affordable loss as opposed to return on investment.
Yeah. And he says it's better, if you've got a chunk of money, for example, it's better to split that up 6 ways and have 6 chances than put it all on the line in one hit. Yep.
And then also another one, use passion as your fuel.
Yep. Nice.
So just with that, you're definitely going to be able to take the minimum bet further when you're half passionate about something, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Do we say the smallest executable step as well?
Yep.
The example of Starbucks again was Howard Schultz and the Starbucks people he was working for already had that one shop. So they didn't try and get millions of dollars in funding and open up shops all over the country. Just in that one shop they already had, they just got a coffee machine and started trying to sell cups from that one store.
Yep.
And they had lines out the door, so that sort of proved their concept, so they opened a second one. But that first smallest executable step was just to, in their existing store, have a coffee machine that sold single cups as well.
Yeah, spot on, mate. Then next chapter was chapter 11, which is complex forces.
Yeah, so this is, I guess, once you've had that click moment, you've placed your purposeful bet by taking action, now complex forces happen.
Yeah,
Shit just starts happening.
That's right. So chapter 12, which is the next chapter, how to harness complex forces.
Yeah.
This is also something I really liked. So one first principle, create large hooks. So you have to, if you're going to take hold of these complex forces, you have to do something.
Yeah.
Who knows? You could be an absolute YouTube star, YouTube hit, getting tens of millions of views, but you're never going to know unless you let these complex forces take hold of your ideas. So that might be, putting in that minimum bet to make a YouTube channel about something you're passionate about. Yeah. Who knows? It might be a fucking flonk and no one listens to it or watches it. But who knows? Complex forces may take it to the next level and people start listening to it. And
yeah, for sure. Some of these complex forces include unintended consequences or the cascade or the butterfly effect, where you do one small thing and it builds up until something big happens.
Yep.
Or the self-reinforcing loop.
Yep.
And so as you say, put yourself out there. The next part of that was take a closer look at surprises. And it's like, if you think, that was a surprising outcome.
Yeah.
Maybe investigate that a little further.
Yep.
So they use the example of Viagra. It was initially used to treat the heart and blood pressure and stuff, and then they realised people were getting boners from it.
Getting stiffies.
Yeah. So then they're like, maybe we can make some boner pills.
Yep.
And basically it became
They've saved a lot of marriages.
But yeah, financially they've dominated as well.
Yeah, definitely. And it's a great product for Viagra when
Speaking from experience, or
once or twice, just to test the waters. But placing a minimum bet with Viagra, there's nothing wrong. Next is look for an opening.
Yeah, and that's just that opportunity. He says an opening, it may not be open for too long. So when there's an opening, you need to be prepared to make a quick decision before it shuts up again. Next
principle, spot momentum and intensity.
Yeah, when something's going, fucking keep it going.
And then number 5, probably the most important, is double down. So when something's starting to take off and this minimum bet you've done is actually turning out to be a very good bet you've placed, then double down and start investing your time, money, and reputation when it's going good, because then this will be the thing that leads you to potentially where you want to go.
Yeah, exactly. And he talks a lot about porn in that section, so that's worth a read.
Yeah.
The double down bit.
Yeah, spot on.
That brings us to the epilogue. And basically the 3 takeaways from the epilogue. The world is unpredictable and random. And so if you're in something where the rules are not locked in, and these rapid changes means that success is even going to become even more and more random.
Yep.
Is one. Another one is we are truly reluctant to attempt to court randomness. So no one's actually trying to get randomness through these click moments, purposeful bets, and complex forces. And number 3 is we cannot control complex events, but we can recognise when things are moving in our favour. And that's when you said that momentum double down.
Yep, definitely. And just on point number 1 you made there, it's an absolute no-brainer. I think that these complex forces and unpredictability are just going to get more and more and more and more unpredictable with the future that's coming.
Love it.
So, mate, absolutely. I really, really like the book. I haven't really... It's not one of the biggest books in the world, is it? But it's,
no, I don't even know how I found this.
Yeah.
Where did it come from?
Just popped up on Goodreads and clicked want to read. But
yeah,
mate, the idea of minimum bet size and purposeful bets, it's fucking awesome, I think.
Yeah.
Because it's so true. If you just have if you place a lot of minimum bets and then some things take off, just latch onto them and off you go.
Love it.
So, mate, any concluding?
Nah, that sounds good.
It's time to fucking rock.
Yeah, rock it.
Let's rock the shit, baby.
How long was that? I don't even know how long it was.
Oh, yeah, 26.
Oh, that's all right. I was worried we were going to go long. We're still live?
No, we got an interview. We got a comment.
Oh, do we? Are we still live or did it die? I think it died.
Mate, something said, I got a notification saying someone said this is a great vid.
Was it you?